Let's get real for a second, Black wives. Listen, you're probably running on fumes, juggling a million things, and trying to still hold it all together. But here's the cold hard truth: if you don't take care of yourself, your marriage will suffer, your energy will drain, and you will burn out. Okay? Today, we're breaking the silence on self care and why it's not an optional, it is a necessity in your life. So, today, I'm sitting down with Tina F. Foy, self care strategist for women, to talk about why Black wives need to stop putting everyone else first and start prioritizing their own well being. Because, as we all know, or as we should know, peace is everything. And I mean everything. So stay tuned because today's conversation is about to flip your entire approach to your marriage and your self care. Okay? Are you ready? Let's go.
She's a queen, she's a crown, she's a backbone strong. Soft hands, open heart where you know he belongs. Grace for her man, yeah, she covers and brings. Built for the storm, but still moves with grace. She's the calm in the fire, the peace in the fight. Holds them down strong, but keeps it real like got that Proverbs glow. Yeah, she walks in the light, ain't just his whip, she's his whole appetite. She's that uncommon wife, divine set apart. Moves with that power, yeah, she leads with her heart. Soft, but she's solid, love wrapped in might. Black woman magic, yeah, she shines so bright. She knows her worth, she knows her call. Stands in the gap so a king don't fall. Speaks life, not fear, she's the voice he trusts. Built on faith, yeah, her love is just. She's the calm in the fire.
Welcome, welcome back to Bold and Black Wives podcast. I'm your host, Tamika. And as I said in the intro, I'm going to be speaking to Tina F. White, self care strategist for busy moms, for women, for all things us. Okay, so let's get Tina to the stage joining us today. Hi, Tina. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I am doing amazing. So, first of all, thank you for being here. I appreciate you coming on to share your knowledge, your expertise, and your own journey. All right, because I do know that when we share, when we have conversations, it allows other women to be open. It allows them to feel like it's okay to share and be authentic in how they represent themselves and just showing up as the authentic version of themselves. So that's what this podcast is all about, the Bold and Blessed Black Wives podcast. So today, listen, I know you probably saw the headlines. Yes, Black women are dying on the inside. But there's a solution. There's a solution, and Tina F. Foy is here to bring us the solution today. So, Tina, before we jump into conversation, I would love for you to share a little bit about yourself, who you are, what it is that you do, and a little bit about your journey into becoming a self-care strategist.
Well, Tamika, thank you for having me. Of course, it's always a pleasure talking to you. It's always fun. So, I am Tina F. Foy. I am the host and creator of Beauty and Me with Tina, self care, beauty, and fashion. And I am a mom of two wonderful boys, a wife, self care advocate for autism and busy moms. And that's pretty much me without taking forever to go down the list of things. Because as
Um,
moms, women, we wear a lot of hats anyway. So,
that is so true. That is so true. If y'all have been watching my videos, y'all know I'll always raise my hand and say, ask me how I know. Okay. But that is so true that we as women, we do wear a lot of hats. We take on a lot of roles, whether they are assigned or stepped into voluntarily or involuntarily. We have a lot of roles that we take on. And so, what definitely want to speak about today is how do we let go of some of those roles, for one, but also how do we begin to prioritize our own well-being, our own wellness for mental sake, for peace sake, and for sanity's sake, and for marriage sake, for all the sakes. Um, but I have a question for you, Tina. We're
okay.
just diving right into the conversation. Why why is it really important that we as black women, black wives, I should say, pay attention to our self care?
Because you burn out. That's a good way to put it, a simple way to put it. You burn out, and because a lot of us were raised that we have to be strong, we have to be independent, we have to hold everything together, we can't show any signs of weakness. We tend to literally take that to a whole nother level. We don't ask for help because we see it as a sign of weakness, or we see it that we owe someone something if they help us. And there's a lot of mental training that our parents and our elders have put into us that we have to let go, to realize if we don't change our mentality, we can hurt ourselves. We're not helping our families either in the process. We have
Right.
to let go of that. Oh, I can't ask for help, or I can't go see a therapist, or I have to do everything myself because if I don't, it makes me seem like a bad woman. And that's not the case.
Right. That is so true. That is so true. There's a lot of advice out there when it comes to self care. Um, and some of them just like go walk in the park, go walk in nature, journal, read a book, all
Mhm.
the good stuff, right? But I
Right.
think that we can go a little bit deeper with that. I think that is kind of surface level. Like that's just,
It
we can
is.
all say that, but we have to do the work internally, and mentally, when it comes to caring for self. And I always say self care is a verb, right? I always say self care is a verb, and it's a verb that you should be doing every single day in some way.
Very true.
Um, we spoke about the many roles that we have as women, and especially as Black women, because that's just how we were raised to take on and just get it done.
Get it done
But
right.
how can we begin to prioritize ourselves without feeling guilty, that we are not doing for others as we normally have?
So it's not an overnight process. I'm speaking personally. It was looking at my kids and realizing that they feel what I feel. They're looking at me. If I'm trying to do everything myself and trying to control everything myself and not ask for help, but I'm burning out and I'm starting to lash out, or I don't have the energy because I'm tired, they start to react the same way. I didn't want that. So I had to figure out what I'm going to do to fix this problem.
Mm,
Besides letting go of the mentality that growing up with of you have to do things yourself, I had to let go of what I was taught to be so strong, to be so independent. I had to let that go, first of all. Then I had to admit, you know what? I got to go seek therapy. I need to go to counseling because I need to let some of this energy go, some of my thought process go, some of hurt go. I had to let that go too. Then I got to the surface level. Once I was able to clear my mind, clear how I felt, then I got to the surface level of, okay, you know what? I'm going to take 5 minutes out the day, drop everybody off, do what I need to do, take 5 minutes to drink my coffee, my tea. If it's during the day, if it's later in the evening, for the ones that love wine, get me a glass of wine. Walk around the house listening to music, singing, and just acting crazy, having a little loose time.
right.
And eventually, as my kids are older now, they know, okay, mommy has her time. Let me go ask daddy, can I get something? Do I need something? Because mommy's having her 5 to 10 minutes. Let me woosah.
Right. Right.
And it changes the whole environment of your household, not only for your kids, but for your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
When you're happy, as the old saying goes, happy wife, happy life. Happy mommy, happy life. If mommy is happy and smiling, everybody else is happy and smiling.
Right, because we are, really and truly, um, we hold accountability and responsibility for a lot of the things, especially when it's around the children, right?
Right.
But Tina, let's stop for a moment. How long have you been married, Tina?
10 years.
First of all,
Thank
congratulations. Let's just start there.
you.
Congratulations, because I've seen so many marriages that they don't last a year. They don't last 2 years because a lot of people get married for the wrong reasons, or they jump in without really understanding what marriage is, and that it's not just you, my boyfriend, still.
Right. It's more than a piece of paper.
Right, right. And so it's a commitment, and
Mhm.
I've heard a lot of times that it's hard work, But I like to reframe that because anything that is worth having is worth working for, I believe. But
Very
I
true.
do believe that it is work, but it takes work from both sides, right?
Hmm.
It takes work on both sides to make the marriage last and make it a happy marriage and make it a marriage where, both are able to have a voice, and to share, openly share without, fear of, um, being silenced or fear of
Right.
being ignored or feel fear of anything, right?
Right.
um and I think that goes in with, the culture that we have, that we've learned on being strong and resilient. Like you said before, we don't really ask for help. Ask me
Very
how I
true.
know. It took me a long time before I would ask for help, and I still to this day have people, and they'll say to me, "I done told you, if you need anything, just let me know. I'm here." And for me, I don't like to feel like I am bothering someone else or taking their time away
Mm,
from their family, their responsibilities, their job, or whatever they have going on. I don't like to bother people. So I'm just like, nah, I got it. But what can I help you with? Right. So I put myself, right, right,
and that's us. That is definitely us.
right. And so when it comes to our marriages, we can be the same way, not
Mhm.
asking for help when we really need help, but always offering ourselves to help in a way. So I want to talk about, the level of vulnerability, right?
Mhm.
Vulnerability that it takes to ask for help in marriage, of your
Oof.
spouse. It's one thing to ask, your good friends or a coworker or whatever, family member, but when we're in marriage, it does take a vulnerability, I think, on both sides, right? To
Right.
say, hey, I need some help. And as strong Black women, as we have been raised to be, and become, how do we show vulnerability? How can we be vulnerable without fear of being saying, "Oh, you're weak," or "You're not as strong as you should be," or just looked at in a way that it shouldn't be. That's all I'm saying.
So here's the thing, and I had to learn this. It's just one of those processes that I had to learn. My husband and I, we dated in high school. So we kind of had the history, but we went our separate ways, found each other again. And we were engaged for a good period of time because they always say the first 3 years of marriage is difficult. So we expanded our engagement just to figure out those 3 years. But it is one of those things where your spouse has to be your best friend. They have to be your friends. They
Right,
have to, you have to be able to conversate, not only have those serious conversations, but be able to have those funny conversations too, and be able to be yourself. And
hmm,
I had to learn that. That was a process that I had to learn. That perfectionism was one thing I had to, personal wise, I had to get
right,
rid of. Because I figured, okay, you know what? I'm the wife, I'm at home, I'm supposed to be doing all this by myself. And he was like, well, can I help? No, 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 I got this. But then it leads to burnout. You're tired. You're crashing out because you're tired.
right, right,
And your spouse looks at you like, okay, if we're supposed to be partners in this relationship, why can't I help you? And that causes a sense of divide, a sense of you're not a team. It's I can do this. What happened to we? So it was something that I had to learn personally myself, but also it's fun when you have a partner helping you with things.
right,
And
right.
I'm OCD. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very OCD. Things have to be in a certain way. I can tell when things are not in
Uh-huh,
place. But just the fact that he wants to help and he will do things to help, and he's like, okay, where does this go? Because I know how you are. And
uh-huh,
accepting, like, you know, I know you're a little different. That's fine, but I'm still gonna help you. Your partner has to be willing to accept you for you.
right,
And yes, if is there something that you have to work on, you have to be able to admit to yourself, you know what, this is a problem that I have. Let me work on this because not only is it going to help me, but it's going to help my partner and make
right.
our relationship better. So it's not always your partner doing something. It's you have to admit to yourself, hey, I'm part of the problem too.
Ooh, oh, hold on, hold on. You just stepped on a lot of toes, right? Admitting that, yes, I am part of the problem too. That is so true because a lot of times we are so ready to point the finger. You did
Mm-hmm.
this. Or you're not
Mm-hmm.
helping me with this, or you're not doing this. You're not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But really and truly, what part are you playing in that? Oh,
Very
I
true.
love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Um, so here's the thing. A lot of times when we get to the point where we are feeling like overwhelmed, stressed, we may feel some anxiety, frustration, all the things. And we're like, you know what? I just need to start putting self-care into my daily routine. But then you have a husband who don't really understand what that self-care, all that stuff is all about, all that mumbo jumbo. How can we explain and then get the husbands to support us in our own self-care journeys?
So I might step on a couple of toes with this. I'm not going to lie because I did it myself. um, put him in your shoes for a day. Let him have to do everything that you do for the day or a week. It depends on his learning process, how long it takes him to see what you go through. And women make things look really easy. The house clean, dinner cooked, kids in order, ready for bed, work clothes done, laundry done, everything put up. It seems so simple. Groceries in the refrigerator. Yeah. Looking looking from the outside in, it looks easy.
Right.
So men tend to assume it's easy until they have to do it.
Come on.
Let them do your job for the day or a week, like I said, depending on the man, and then sit down and have the conversation. Ask him how he felt,
Mm-hmm.
ask him how his day was, and then let him know, hey, I do the same thing, but you're only doing a quarter of what I normally do.
Right.
This is why I'm the way I am.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why I implement self-care for myself. This is why I need that day to myself. This is why I need that 10 minutes to myself. Self-care for me is for me to help my mental clear my space and get my energy together, not only for you, but for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm able to get myself together, then I can run the ship like it's supposed to be ran while you do what you need to do as my spouse. But if I'm all crazy because I can't get time for myself, I can't think, I can't put myself together. I have everyone else looking good and decent, but I'm walking around disheveled. My hair not done. I don't have any clothes on. I'm walking around in sweats and a t-shirt all day because I'm just tired.
Right.
And then you're looking at me like, what happened to the woman I married? She's tired. She's been going all day nonstop, making sure the kids are good, making sure you're good, make sure the house is clean, and completely forgot that, hey, you know what? I need to put myself together so I can feel good. I
Right.
know it's not all about the looks on the outside, but if you look good, you feel good. That is
Right.
a very, very, very true statement. You could be sick as a dog, but I promise you, if you look like you put together, you might feel crappy on the inside, but you're like, you know what? I look great. I'm gonna make it through. I'm gonna push through the day.
Right.
And
You
then you're
know,
gonna crash when you get home.
listen, that's a whole nother conversation that we're more than likely going to come back. I'm going to make a note on that right now. When you look good, you feel good, right?
Hmm.
Because I definitely want to unpack that. Because I have so many myths, so many sayings, so many misunderstandings. Like it's a lot that I would love to unpack that. So here's the thing. Yes, we are married, and at some point in time, somebody gonna find Jesus if they don't already have Jesus in their lives, right?
Right.
Um, Not only find him, but they want to incorporate God into the marriage. Now, here's the thing: God should be in your marriage from day one. He should be at
Very
the
true.
center of it all, and connecting you two together. But if he's not, it's not too late. Let me be a disciple real quick. It is not too late to give your life to Jesus. But both man and woman may not be on the same page when it comes to faith, right?
Right.
um and even in the woman's mindset, she may be trying to figure out how does self-care play a part in her life as a woman of God. How does it intertwine with spirituality or being a Christian? Is it really a thing? Should I be focused on me or should I be focused on God? Like, it's a lot of questions about faith and self-care. Another
Right.
conversation, right? But
Right.
if you can give us a little bit of understanding, that of self-care versus or self-care and being a Christian or a woman of God.
It goes hands in hand. Different religions, not only Christianity, they pretty much have the same say. It may not be verbatim, but your body's your temple.
Right.
That just as simple as possible as I can put it. Your body is your temple. You don't take care of your body, it falls apart. Your temple falls apart. So you have to take care of your body, and that's a part of self care because you don't take care of your body, everything crumbles. Not only you, but your kids, your husband. You have to be able to put nutrition into your body. You have to be able to bless your body. You have to be able to cleanse your body.
Right.
Simply put, so that goes into self care. That is loving yourself. Love
Hmm.
thyself. You have to love yourself. But if you're not taking care of yourself, it's not to say you don't love yourself. You may not know how to do it. But if
Hmm.
you're a woman of faith, you know that you have to take care of yourself. And for you to love your family right and correctly, you have to love yourself. It goes back to loving yourself. For you to
Right.
be the best woman you can be, you have to be able to take care of yourself.
I love that. I love.
You cannot burden yourself with thinking that you are neglecting your family because you're taking care of yourself. It is not selfish. There is no way, nowhere, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't seen it. I don't look at everything, so I can't say. But there's nowhere that I see that self care is selfish. And for anyone to say that, I feel like it is their way of trying to control what you do,
Mm.
in my personal opinion.
Hmm.
Because if that person cares for you, they want the best for you. They want you to be the better part of you. They want you to
Right.
always better yourself. So for
Right.
anyone to tell you, hey, you taking 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day for yourself to collect yourself, get yourself together, and selfish, it's not right. It's them trying to control the narrative of, okay, you're not doing what I want you to do. I don't want you to pick yourself up. So don't do this. If they
Right.
really care, they'd be like, you know what? Hey, take your 5 minutes, take your 10 minutes. I got this. You get yourself together. What else do you need? Do
I
you
love
need
that.
resources? Do you need help?
I love
That's a
that.
true person that really loves you. That's a true person that understands. A woman of faith wants to be better, wants to do better, and wants to
Hmm.
take care of her temple.
Hmm. Right. You know, she just went into preacher mode, y'all. Okay. But I love it. I absolutely love it. Because I believe that when you take care of yourself, you can then take care of others, right?
Right.
And that's with self care, taking care of self so that you can take care of your household, your marriage, your kids, your responsibilities, all the things that with all of the hats that we wear, right? It requires us
Mhm.
to be healthy and whole. A lot of times um, we're in a role, but we're not healthy and we're definitely not whole. There's a lot of wounds from
Mhm.
our past. There's a lot of wounds that's happening currently, and we want to address them. We will not address the elephant in the room per se, right?
Right.
It's more like how do I work my way around it? I'm gonna dust everything around it, but I'm not gonna touch that thing, okay? Because if
Mhm.
I touch that, I'm opening up a can that I'm not ready for just yet. I'm not ready for it.
Very, very true.
So again, I love what you said that if they love you, they will support you in you having your time to care for yourself so that you can be healthy and whole for the household. I love that. So we're coming to the end of our conversation, and I like this conversation. I love this conversation because I believe it's going to help a lot of us as Black women and as Black wives specifically learn more about just implementing self-care into your daily routine. And it doesn't, we talked about it earlier, it doesn't have to be a long drawn out thing, but it has to be mental work involved.
Right.
You have to do the work, internally, mentally, spiritually, physically, all the leads, okay? You have to you have to do the work. But before we go, I have one question that I'd like to ask you. One piece of advice that I would love for you to give. All right. So,
Like,
Tina F. Foy, self care strategist for moms and women. Okay. You're the self care strategist for Black wives today. So, what advice would you give to a Black wife who feels disconnected after years of neglecting her own needs for the sake of her family or marriage? So she feels disconnected from herself and she's trying to get her mojo back or get back to understanding and unlearning to learn who she really is and feeling more connected with herself as a woman and as a wife and as a mom and primarily those things. But what piece of advice would you give her who's feeling disconnected?
I would say give yourself grace. Start slow. Uh, go to, there's a lot of free events on Eventbrite for self care. Just type in self care in a search bar online and start with the workshops. But it's like I said, it's not going to happen overnight, but give yourself grace and know that you're trying to improve every day. Start with little events, start with books, start to have self conversations, self affirmations, journal your thoughts, and see where you would want to start. If you feel like there is past wounds and trauma, counseling. There's nothing wrong with it. Do counseling and start there. Once you heal and start to heal the trauma from within, everything else will fall into place. So that is my advice for all the beautiful ladies out there.
I love it. I love it. Tina, I thank you. Again, I thank you for coming on and sharing with us your knowledge and expertise when it comes to self care and how we can do more in implementing self care into our daily lives. But not only just us doing more, but educating our spouses on how they can support us and showing them. I love the fact that you stepped on all the toes. You say, listen, let him do what
Oh,
you do, okay?
mhm. Yeah, sometimes they got to wear our shoes for a day or two,
Right.
figure
And
it out.
that's a way of learning, doing by doing. You learn by doing,
That's
right?
it.
So listen to all of my Black wives. This has been an eye-opening conversation with Tina. If you didn't hear before, I'll say it again. Tina just told y'all self care is not selfish, it
Nope.
is essential for you. It's essential for your marriage. It's essential for your family. But most importantly, again, it's essential for you. So, Tina, how can our audience find and connect with you?
Well, I am all platforms, social media platforms, except for Facebook. At Beauty and Me with Tina. You can DM me, send me a comment, email me at beautyandmewithtina@gmail.com, or you can visit our site at beautyandme.com/home, and you can contact me there as well.
Okay, okay. So I'm going to put that here on scrolling. So beautyandme.com/home. Or you can find her on all platforms outside of Facebook at Beauty with Tina.
Tina, yes.
All right, so listen, ladies, you deserve to feel whole, rejuvenated, and deeply connected to yourself. So, again, thank you, Tina. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and giving us the tools we need to reclaim our peace and power, okay? Because there's definitely power. There's definitely
Thank
power
you
in
for
the.
having me. I'm always here. I love doing this. So thank you for having me.
Awesome, awesome. So, to all the Black wives tuning in, remember it is okay to put yourself first. It really is okay. Okay, it's okay to put yourself first after God. Don't wait until you burnt out. Start taking care of yourself today. Start doing today. If you've ever had that feeling of, you know what, I need to make a change, start today. Don't wait until a month from now. I'm gonna start on May 1st. For what? Why are we starting on May 1st? Listen, ask me how I know. I was just talking to Tina. I was just talking to Tina, right? Like this is real. This is real conversation right here because I was just talking to Tina before we came on, and I was just like, "There's this thing I'm getting ready to do," and I thought about it, and I'm going to start it today. Okay, but
Hmm.
it's been sitting on me for at least about a week and a half, 2 weeks, right? So I'm telling you, don't do what I do. Do what I say, not what I do. Okay.
Yes.
um, but listen, commit to the journey of self care because when you're at your best, your marriage can thrive. When you're at your best, your family will thrive. And when you're at your best, you as a whole, healed, bold, and blessed Black wife, yes, you will thrive. So, y'all know that I have my church announcements. Okay, so let's get to the church announcements real quick. So as you know, we have coming up on April 28th, we have the Uncommon Wife Gathering. It is a time when we informally just get to connect with each other, have conversations, and this is tonight, y'all. So I think we have probably about 3 or 4 seats left that's open. But this is happening tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we are talking about our love language. A lot of times we talk about my love language. This is my love language, acts of service, quality time, all the things, right? But what about our love language? I think that when we are married, yes, it's good to have our own individual, because we are individual people. But I think it's really good when we can come together and say, this is our love language. So how do we integrate yours and his and make ours? Like that's the key for tonight. It is going to be interactive. So bring your notepads, be ready to engage and listen. Just be in the room. Just be in the room. And then coming up on May 17th, listen, it is the She's Uncommon Summit on May 17th. And this is not for the weak. This is not. This is bold. This is a bold statement because this is all about understanding that you are not created to be basic. You were created to be uncommon. Uncommon is, she's that Proverbs 31 wife, okay? All of the qualities that she possesses. And this is not about you being perfect. Tina spoke on, that perfection thing. This is not about being perfect because nobody can be perfect. This is about striving to be better. Striving to be better for you, to be better for your marriage, to be better for your family. But really, just being the uncommon wife, and understanding that you are uncommon. You don't have to wait. You don't have to try to figure it all out. This is a time where we get to come together, be in the room. We have some amazing speakers. We have an amazing panel, and the conversation is not going to be held back. It is going to be real conversation, real talk. We got some real ones coming in here, so I'm excited for that. And of course, if there's any questions you have, I would love for you all to join us in the Uncommon Wife community. It is a community where we have women who are loving what it is that we have going on. We just completed a 21-day marriage transformation challenge, and it really highlighted the qualities of being an uncommon wife. And I'm just like, okay, these quick little things that we can easily implement into our daily lives. It doesn't have to be this grand gesture, like little things that we can do, little shifts that we can make. I'm excited because I implemented all of them. Okay, I implemented all of them, which is why I don't have a headache right now. He understands a lot better right now, okay? Um, but it's really in how you show up. That's really what the challenge is all about. How can you show up better, so that you can build that stronger marital bond that you desire? So again, thank you all for tuning in to the Bold and Blessed Black Wives podcast. I'm your host, Tamika. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Visit our YouTube channel. We have a lot of content there. But you can visit our website and you can download the 30-day prayer challenge that we have. It is time to pray boldly for your marriage, ladies. And it's time to pray more for your own well being, mamas. So until next time, stay bold, stay blessed, and prioritize yourself. Have a good one.
She's a queen, she's a crown, she's a backbone strong. Soft hands, open heart where you know he belongs. Grace for her man, yeah, she covers in grace. Built for the storm, but still moves with grace. She's the calm in the fire, the peace in the fight. Holds them down strong, but keeps it real light. Got that Proverbs glow, yeah, she walks in the light. Ain't just his whip, she's his whole